Welcome, everyone, to the Your Energy First podcast. I'm your host, Emily Marie, and it is such a pleasure to have you here today to co-create with you in this space and to talk about all things your energy. Welcome back to the podcast. So good to have you here today in this moment. How are you? Checking in. How's it going? Truthfully, if you can't be honest with yourself, who can you be honest with? We are going to breathe into the heart chakra right now, or just your heart space. If you're taken somewhere else, that's absolutely okay. And as we give this space attention, we're also giving it light. And just letting it kind of be and expand a bit more. So in today's episode, we are going to talk about one of the ways you can receive validation for what it is you're picking up on, for your own intuition. And this way is via online or social media. So sometimes we look at the things we are reading or listening to or watching on social media, and sometimes we tend to take those things for face value. The person that wrote that had an intention put out there with that item. And I'm sure based on who y'all follow, it's all probably really well-intended people. And as we take a look at that energy and the information they're putting forward, what if your approach to this is more of a co-creative effort? So one of the things that I do before I go onto social media, not every single time, and this is something that is becoming much more of a practice of mine as I refine my social media interaction and work with it as a whole, because part of social media for me is actually work. And is I start by setting the intention that I receive exactly what I need for my highest good, and anything else is filtered out or is made clear that it's not meant for me. So that way when you read, because you read someone's post and you get kind of this little like a tinge, a hit, and it's like a ping. You're like, oh, that was good information for me. That validates what I was thinking. Or, oh gosh, I was wondering about XYZ. And sometimes what we do is we take that one thing that was validating, and it means we give credit to all of it. But maybe we only needed that one piece. This is one of the ways you can help keep your energy clear and clean. So there's some really good information out there on energetic trends and energetic forecasts. And there's a few people on YouTube who I watch once in a while when I feel called to, and I will look at their energetic forecasts. And what's amazing to me is how beautiful the information is presented. It's heart-centered. It's empowering. You know that the folks that I enjoy interacting with or ingesting their information will always have messages of empowerment for us and ways to utilize this information for our highest good, and at the same time not make it the be-all end-all, not outsource our power. So say, for example, you are listening to one of the energetic forecasts. You would connect with your light, expand it, expand it, deepens your filter, it strengthens your filter. Not just for what information is going to come through, but what's going to stick versus what information is just going to slip away, like that in one ear out the other, or water off a duck's back. That's the vibe we're going for. So when you watch someone's energetic forecast, know that you're going to receive validation. You're going to have aha moments. Oh, that feels true. That feels right. Or, wow, I was thinking that. Or, oh, I've been feeling that myself. That's the validating of your intuition piece. Which is really amazing. There's some folks I also follow on YouTube who do tarot. They use tarot to do energy readings. Tarot's a tool, kind of like Reiki's a tool. You know, Reiki is symbolism, or people say universal healing energy, but universal healing energy is its own thing. Reiki is one term we might give it. Like a home is a home, but what a home looks like across the globe is entirely different. So we may say townhome, colonial home, modern home, condo, studio, shared living, homeless shelters, tents, teepees, huts, caves, all those different things. Reiki is like a townhome. It's a name we give universal healing energy. So tarot is one way, one tool that some individuals use to do amazing work supporting their energetic practice. I'm actually going to have a tarot reader on the podcast next year, and I'm really excited because the work she does is so powerful and so deep and crystal clear and empowering. So I'm excited to interview her and give us all a little bit more insights into that, or maybe you do this yourself and you can compare notes. So these folks read the energy, and sometimes, you know, as I listen, there's key parts that will ping me a little bit harder. And I'm like, oh yeah, that message was meant for me. That's validation, because subconsciously or semi-consciously I've been thinking about XYZ. Okay, that validates that. And then I listen to the rest of what they have to say, and it sort of like drifts out, and I'm like, oh, that wasn't for me. So no, you know, give yourself permission to, you can work with these. It's kind of fun, actually. You know, maybe if you're like cleaning or cooking or getting some things done or going for a walk, you can listen to these and say, okay, which parts of these resonate and which ones don't? And enjoy it. Enjoy the information that ebbs and flows and comes to you, and notice the subtleties. Notice the subtleties. What inner knowing just pops into your beingness all of a sudden? What kind of trickles in? Where do you feel it in your body? What do you hear, if anything? The guides are kind of like tickling my nose a little bit, and they're saying, or maybe what do you sense in that way? So there may be a few of you that sense things that way. And the other thing to note about, I'm going to talk about energetic forecasts in particular and predicting, is as a society, we are co-creating. We're co-creating together. I have seen things, and other people too, have seen things on the horizon that have not come to fruition because we've all as a collective or even as an individual have chosen to co-create differently. Free will is so powerful. Free will is mighty, which is great. It's good, right? It feels like at first I might be like, wow, it's a load of responsibility. And then it's like, oh, wait, cool. Okay, so I can create my life even more so in the direction I want it to go. So when people do collective readings, we are still human. And as a human, we can only process so much. So with these readings, they are often tailored to groups. So when I pick up on energetic trends, or when I hold space for themes for a month, for example, that's for people, individuals typically on the self-healing journey, or they are doing healing work for others. You can't do healing work for others without doing healing work for yourself. It's impossible. It's actually impossible. It's like you can be a brain surgeon without ever having to have operated on your brain. But in order to do energy work for others, you have to do energy work for yourself. The two go hand in hand. The more work you do for yourself, then you can do more for others. That's how the capacity tends to work. So know that these folks are picking up on trends for specific collectives, for groups, and that may be huge collectives and huge groups, some of the biggest conscious collectives in the world, which is incredible. And then others may be a little bit more finite. And that's why you get to have discretion, because your path is so unique. You may get bits and pieces, bits and bobs from different collective readings, and that in turn gives you your information for you, your specific information for you. And then you get to use it to help validate what you've been thinking about or what's been percolating in the back part of your head but hasn't quite fully landed in your full consciousness. And then you listen to it and you're like, oh, that thing, that's right. I have been noticing that, or I have been thinking that. And, sometimes we kind of schlep these things off as not important. But what makes something not important to you when it comes to your overall health and betterment? Okay. One of the messages that Spirit's been pushing through, yeah, it's true, pushing through a lot, is when in doubt, take deep breaths. When in doubt, breathe. Okay. And don't forget to play and enjoy your journey. Gosh, as adults, how can we release the guilt we feel about resting, taking time off, playing, having a good time? And remember too, when the world is seemingly in despair, which it is in a lot of ways, we need your laughter, your play, your creativity to bring more of that into the earth plane. Okay. They're wrapping it up with the heart chakra. And let's see, what are these things? They're saying new seeds are being planted. Feel hopeful, feel good. Lots of really good new seeds of light energy, have been planted, are growing, are being planted. This is ongoing. They're saying we're headed in a really good direction. We are headed in a really good direction. Believe in yourself. Believe in this process. Believe in your journey. And believe in this inner sense that you have to make all of it better, to make your life really, really good. And in tune, the world really, really good. Thank you so much for bringing more of your light into this world today. You are incredible. As always, you can find me, connect@emilymarie.com. If you want to develop your own intuition with me, your energetic skill set, figure out ways to tweak your career or your job and make those things a little bit better, maybe bring your intuition and your energetic skill set into what it is you do for work, into your day-to-day, build a self-energy practice, build a self-energy healing practice. You can work with me one-on-one via the alignment container. That will be in the show notes. And I am so excited for all of us and what is to come. And in the meantime, we will find ways to enjoy the moment. Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review, and make sure you've signed up for the newsletter for special insights, offerings, and announcements that are just for you. This podcast and website represents the opinions of Emily Marie and her guests to the show and website. The content should not be taken as medical advice. The content here is for informational purposes only, and because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional for any medical advice, recommendations, and questions. Views and opinions expressed in this podcast and website are our own and do not represent that of our places of work. While we make every effort to ensure that the information we are sharing is accurate, we welcome any comments, suggestions, or correction of errors.